What's going on? Welcome back to a brand new video. And in today's video, after a stellar game 1 performance in the ALDS from the Toronto Blue Jays, winning 10-1 against the New York Yankees, it was time for game 2 the very next day, and everyone was wanting to do it again. So guess what? We went out and we did it again. We're gonna break down the game, the 13-7 W for the Toronto Blue Jays. So if you're excited for this one, make sure you like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. Alright, so for this one on the mound, we had rookie phenom Trey Savage, and it's pretty safe to say he did not freaking disappoint. All right, but we're gonna get into that a little later. Other key players: Dalton Varsho, 2 homers, 2 doubles. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a grand slam bat flip. Ernie Clement also hitting a home run. We're gonna get into that right now. All right, riding high off the game 1 W in Toronto, 10-1. The boys looking to get to Max Fried early. We had the advantage because the Yankees have never seen Trey Savage quite like many other teams. Using Trey Savage at home, wanted to give him a home start so he didn't have to pitch in New York and leave that up to Shane Bieber. This is his 4th major league appearance. I just want to remind you before we get into it, he started the season in single A, first playoff appearance of all time, 4th major league start of all time, and he's gonna freaking dominate. All right, the first batter of the game, it doesn't matter, it's strike 3 for Trey Savage. Then Aaron Judge walks on 4 pitches, but that's okay because an Aaron Judge on first base is better than an Aaron Judge home run. You know what I'm saying? So it remains 0-0, but now there's a runner on first. I don't think that freaking matters when you talk about Trey Savage, because up comes Cody Bellinger, and he gets sent right back to the dugout with a strikeout number 2. And then it's the cleanup hitter, sent from Toy Story, Ben Rice. That doesn't matter either. Trey Savage, 4 batters faced, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts in the first inning of his playoff career. He's built for this. Now it's back to the Trey Savage show, ladies and gentlemen. Giancarlo Stanton to lead off the top of the second. It doesn't matter. The result is still the same no matter who you send up. It's a strikeout for Trey Savage. And what I noticed about a lot of his strikeouts was that they were in 2-2 counts, full counts. He was under pressure, almost walking these guys, but he believed in his stuff. He threw pitches out of his own that they still swung at because it's just so good. Then he gets the next batter to pop out to center field, and then Ryan McMahon to line out to Miles Straw to end the inning. Then in the bottom of the second inning, this is where things would get going for the Toronto Blue Jays, all right? Dalton Varsho to lead it off in the bottom of the second. He hits it down the right field line. Aaron Judge over to get it, but he gets past Aaron Judge because his bum cannot field the baseball. It rolls all the way to the wall. Dalton Varsho's hustling for third. They call it a double because there was an error on Aaron Judge for not fielding the baseball. He ends up on third regardless. It's a leadoff runner on third, and then up comes Ernie freaking Clement. And what Ernie Clement does next is kind of insane, because when I first saw this pitch, I did not think it was going to be hit for a 2-run home run. But guess what? It was a 75-mile-per-hour curveball from Max Fried. It was basically hit one-handed by Ernie Clement, and somehow it goes over the wall. Then in the top of the third, it would still be the Trey Savage show, ladies and gentlemen. There was a lot of good players this game. Dalton Varsho, Vladdy Guerrero, Ernie Clement. All of them got overlooked by Mr. Trey Savage, and deservingly so, because to lead off the third inning, it is Anthony Volpe, and it doesn't matter who you send up at the plate, like I said earlier. It's still the same result, and it's still strike 3. Back to the dugout. That is 5 strikeouts. Then it's Austin Wells. He sits down Austin Wells on 3 pitches. Can he get to 7? The answer is yes. Trent Grisham back up again. It doesn't matter. I struck you out before. I'll strike you out again. That's 7 Ks through 3 innings for Trey Savage. Come on, man. Strikes out the side. All right, to start off the bottom of the third offensively for the Toronto Blue Jays, Davis Snyder draws a walk. So job well done. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. single to center field. Davis Snyder busting his cheeks over to third base. Runners on the corners with 1 out for none other then Alejandro Kirk, and what happens? He grounds it back to the pitcher, but that's okay, because David Starter was going on contact. They get the out at first, but not at home, and it's 3-0 Blue Jays. Alejandro Kirk with an RBI. You love to see it for the guy. And now it's Dalton Varsho back at the plate. And what does Dalton Varsho do? You may not know, because he got overlooked by a lot of these guys. But I'm going to show you and tell you what he does. He sends another double down the right field line, past the reach of Ben Rice. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to score from second. They swap places, and it's now 4-0 Toronto. You'll love to see it. And then Dog, he's back up again, and he sees another opportunity to drive in more runs. And that's what the Blue Jays did this entire game. They just drove in runs after runs. And he's going to line a single into left field. It's going to score Dalton Varsho, and it's 5-0 Blue Jays. But now, bro, this was the greatest playoff performance potentially of all time, let alone franchise records. This was insane. Aaron Judge to lead off the top of the fourth. Strike 3. Cody Bellinger behind him. Strike 3. Ben Rice after that. It doesn't matter. Strike out the side, back-to-back innings. And through 4 innings, Trey Savage has a total of 10 strikeouts. That is insanity. And if you didn't know his name, now you know it. You should have known it before. And if you still don't know it, then stop watching baseball, because you don't deserve to witness greatness. Alright, after that, in the bottom of the fourth, we get 2 runners on, which brings out Max Fried from the ball game. Then, George Springer draws a walk, which leads us to the moment that we've all been talking about. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's a 2-1 count. Bases loaded, 1 out, in the bottom of the fourth. It's 5-0 Toronto. After this swing, it is going to be 9-0 Toronto as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits the bat flip, hits the grand slam, and it's the first postseason grand slam for the Blue Jays in franchise history. And it's way gone. Second deck, Blue Jays lead 9-0. That was the most electric thing I have seen live in my entire life. And the fact that the camera zoomed in on Max Fried afterwards was the cherry on top, man. Then, Dalton Varsho, who just had a casual 2-homer, 2-double day. This is one of his homers. The first of his homers came in the 4th inning, right after Alejandro Kirk got on base. It's now 11-0 Toronto after the 2-run bomb, and the Blue Jays just keep tacking and tacking on runs. At this point in the game, the Blue Jays have outscored the Yankees 21-1 in the 2 games in the series so far. That is insanity, and coming into this series, everyone was like, the Yankees hit home runs, the Blue Jays do not. What do you got to say now? And now, in the top of the 5th, more from Trey Savage, as he would get Anthony Volpe once again on a splitter in the zone. Strike 3, and that's his final strikeout of the day. 11 Ks, which is the most by a Blue Jays postseason pitcher. This is going to be a game from the Blue Jays' entire team, but more importantly, Trey Savage, that will be talked about for ages. But then, in the bottom of the 5th, the Blue Jays are still not done scoring runs, as George Springer, who's been struggling up to this point, hits a Springer dinger, and it's now 12-0 Blue Jays. Like, bro, it's 12-0 in the 5th inning. The game's only halfway done, and there's still a lot more to go, so that's crazy. Trey Savage comes back out to face one more hitter to go 2 times through the order, and gets pulled by manager John Schneider to the surprise of some, but it's just in case they go 5 games. They do not want the Yankees to see a lot of Trey Savage. That was the best performance of all time, let alone rookie in the postseason, let alone postseason, just of all time. And that's no glaze. And both TV broadcasts interviewed Trey Savage's parents after this, which is kind of insane. Trey Savage, when he got taken out, by the way, he had a no-hitter. He threw a no-hitter 5 1/3 against the New York Yankees in the playoffs. If you don't respect him, then you don't know greatness. Because that is the definition of greatness. You know what isn't the definition of greatness though? The Blue Jays bullpen. Because after him leaving with a no-hitter, the very next pitcher gives up a base hit. And then after that, Justin Brule gives up a 2-run homer to Cody Bellinger to make it 12-2. But then in the bottom of the 6th, Dalton Varsho responds with his second homer of the day. It's 13-2 Blue Jays. But then after this, it was all Yankees the rest of the game. Eric Lauer, Tommy Nance, Mason Fluharty, they all come in the 7th inning because the Yankees have made it a 13-7 game after scoring 5 runs in the 7th inning. So at this point in the game, everyone's kind of shitting themselves. Sir Anthony Dominguez to come in the top of the 9th and close the door. The Blue Jays take Game 2 of the ALDS and look to sweep the Yankees in New York. And Game 3 start spreading the news because the New York Yankees are going from New York, New York to Cancun, whether you like it or not. If you enjoyed this one, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.